Hi. Welcome to Inference. This is the place where you learn and improve. In this video, I will be talking about the human brain. The human brain is the most advanced system we have found. It is made up of approximately 86 billion neurons that are connected in a complex network. Each neuron is capable of sending and receiving electrical signals. The signals are then processed by the brain to produce thoughts, feelings, and actions. The human brain is an amazing organ. It is responsible for everything we do, from the simplest actions like blinking to the most complex thoughts and emotions. Every experience we have, everything we think and feel, is controlled by our brain. The human brain is the command center of the human nervous system. It is a large, complex organ that controls both voluntary and involuntary actions. The brain is made up of many different parts, each with its unique function. The cerebrum is the largest part of the brain and is responsible for conscious thought, movement, and sensory perception. The cerebellum is responsible for coordination and balance. The brainstem controls basic functions such as breathing and heart rate. The human brain is capable of incredible things, from learning and memory to complex problem solving. It is also capable of great destruction, as seen in mental illness and addiction. The brain is a complex and fascinating organ, capable of amazing feats of adaptability. Throughout a person's lifetime, the brain can change and adapt in response to a variety of influences, both internal and external. These changes can be either positive or negative. For example, the brain can adapt to changes in the environment, such as a new climate or a new culture. It can also adapt to changes in the body, such as the loss of a limb or the onset of a chronic illness. These adaptations can help a person cope with new challenges and continue to function despite difficulties. The brain can also adapt to changes in lifestyle, such as a new diet or a new exercise regimen. These changes can lead to improvements in overall health and well-being. Additionally, the brain can adapt to changes in mental states, such as increased stress or anxiety. These changes can harm mental health, but they can also lead to increased resilience and adaptability. Neuroplasticity, also known as brain plasticity or neural plasticity, is the ability of the brain to change and adapt in response to experience. The brain is constantly growing and changing in response to the things we do in the environment we are in. This includes changes in neural pathways and synapses, as well as changes in gene expression and neurochemical systems. For example, when we learn a new skill, the brain changes in response to this new experience, and the more we practice it, the greater is the magnitude of the change. This is why it is important to keep learning new things and to keep challenging our brains throughout our lifetimes. One of the most well-known cases of neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to recover from injury. After a brain injury, the brain can reorganize and create new neural pathways to compensate for the damage. This process is known as neurogenesis. Neuroplasticity also plays a role in learning and memory. When we learn something new, our brains create new neural connections, and the more we repeat the task, the stronger those connections become. This is why practice is so important. There are many different types of brain plasticity, and they all play a role in how the brain changes and adapts throughout our lifetime. One type of brain plasticity is called experience-dependent plasticity. This is when the brain changes in response to our experiences. For example, if we learn a new skill, the brain changes in response to this new experience. The more we practice a skill, the more the brain changes. Another type of brain plasticity is called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, also known as BDNF. This is a protein that helps the brain to grow and change. BDNF is important for learning and memory, and it helps to keep the brain healthy as we age. Speaking of aging, as we age, the brain adapts in response to the things we do in the environment we are in. For example, the brain changes in response to the loss of muscle mass and a decrease in the production of hormones. There is evidence that neuroplasticity declines with age. This may be one of the reasons why older adults have more difficulty learning new things. As we get older, we may have more difficulty multitasking, and our memory may not be as sharp as it once was. However, even though the brain changes with age, it is still plastic and able to adapt in response to our experiences. There are ways to keep the brain plastic and promote neurogenesis, such as exercise, mental stimulation, and social interaction. Exercise has been shown to help improve brain function and to protect the brain from age-related decline. Another thing we can do is to have a healthy diet. We should continuously strive toward learning new things and challenging our brains to keep them in shape. Fortunately, there are many options to what we can do to keep our brains healthy and to help them change and adapt throughout life. Neuroplasticity is an important topic of research for many scientists. There is still much that we do not understand about the brain, but research is ongoing and discoveries are being made all the time. The practical applications of research into neuroplasticity are incredible. For example, understanding how the brain changes in response to experience can help us to develop new treatments for brain injuries. If there is at least one thing you're left with from this video, remember this: the brain is constantly making predictions about what will happen next. When something unexpected happens, the brain adapts by making new predictions. This ability to adapt to surprises is called plasticity. This is why you need to permanently push yourself to learn new things. The brain is always trying to create a view of the world, and the moment that a perspective is solidified, the brain usually slows down the search for new information, because it thinks it has everything figured out. Instead of leaving it to random chance to break your confirmation bias, it is your responsibility to actively and constantly surprise your brain with evidence that it has not figured everything out, forcing it to adapt by learning and improving. The comfort zone of feeling like you know enough is what's keeping you from learning what you don't know. Alright, that's it for this video. Have a wonderful day. And don't fall into the illusion of thinking that you know enough. Goodbye.